So in a previous video in this dive series that I'm doing, this 5-part series that I'm doing, I discussed the BLU3 underwater hookah breathing system. You can refer to that video in this section, training section. But what I want to talk about today is how I set up the XP Deus 2 for diving. This is the XP Deus 2 short dive arm from XP. It's a lot lighter. It's got the handle here. You'll see it's got some kind of holes in here, whereas the original XP Deus shaft doesn't. So it's a lot lighter. Plastic arm cuff. And it's a lot shorter. So when you're diving and your metal detector, you can actually reach to dig where the coil is, so it's a lot better. A lot of times I don't even need to pinpoint using this. So I do carry my pinpointer with me, but I don't need to most of the time. Some of the things I modified on the way, that's what I want to talk about mostly. I'm using the bone conducting headphones. And you'll notice I leave the blue holder in place. You're supposed to do that or you can damage your headphones. So when I'm not using this, I'll just leave this blue holder in place. And I leave this set up all the time for my XP Deus 2. I mean, I have the 11-inch coil, so I keep that on the other shaft and use that with the full shaft. And normally I just use the WS6 wristband with that, since pretty much the WS6 does everything on land that the main control box does. So I just leave this whole setup connected to the bone conducting headphones, control box connected. And some of the modifications I did, where this clips on, I put a tie wrap. The little rubber band seemed a little flimsy, so I put a tie wrap on there. I put a you'll see here, this is a camera tether. Didn't want to lose my control box, so I have it really on here where it's hard to get off. It's kind of, I can't even take it off. But this is just a control box. The one that they had at XP was real flimsy, so I didn't want to take a chance on losing this thing. So I bought a professional camera control box thing. Actually, I had this one. This was the one that I used on my GoPro. So I already had this one, but you can buy them on Amazon. You can follow a link to Amazon and check that out. But I tie this up right on the shaft here so that it stays in place. And I use on the original XP Deus, they give you that long antenna that you have to wrap around the shaft. And they give you these Velcro straps. Well, I use them on this control arm, even though the antenna runs inside the shaft on this one. You don't have to wrap it, so it makes it a lot easier. So I wrapped it there. You'll notice I wrapped my bone conducting headphones here and here to keep those strong. That's, it is very important because this control box is pretty expensive. It's about $600 by itself. So I didn't want to lose my control box. Another thing that I did, a lot of people forget to run the cord over, under, right here on this part. They just kind of thread it through there, but you need to do that and then come back in this way. It helps this clip stay on better. So that's another thing that I do that some people don't do, but that's what I do. Now here's the problem. XP gives you a lot of parts that you got to keep count of. So you can't take out this gray plug on the bottom. You can't take that out when you're got it in your house charging. You have to leave that gray plug in, but when you want to go diving, you're supposed to put the red plug in, which I keep this little red plug in a plastic bag, and I haven't found a good place to store those plugs so I don't lose them. So I just kind of put it in my BLU3 diving bag in a pocket there, and that's where I keep the plugs when I'm using them. So I keep the red one in the diving bag all the time so that I always have it when I want to go diving. Anyway, the XP Deus 2 is a great detector. I hunt saltwater some, but and I usually use when I'm diving in the ocean. I like the dive program; it works great. I don't have any problem with it. But when I'm detecting freshwater lakes and rivers and things like that, I like to use the FAST program. The reason being is that a lot of places I detect is in rivers, and the streams are kind of running fast, and most of the jewelry and stuff gets down in cracks and crevices. And, excuse me. And you want to hit that target real quickly. So what I do is I run the FAST program. No need in running the deep program, usually in rivers. Some people run the deep HC. I like the FAST program. You could actually get away with running general program, but I like FAST, or you could use a sensitive program because it can find the small gold jewelry. And, sensitive and FAST are my two go-to programs most of the time. But that concludes this section on the XP Deus 2 mounted to the diving shaft. Hope you enjoyed the video, and you guys have a blessed day.